What's going on, guys? It's Sloppy Saturdays back at here with some more content, and today we are going over a way too early look at Arch Manning. I want to discuss everything, what I thought about Arch Manning last season, how this season is going to be, and also is he going to spend a little more time at Texas or not than we think. Now, for this video, I got to throw on the Arch Manning jersey. Again, if you guys know me and this content, like we have been pushing Arch Manning content out all year last year, even in the 3 games he played last year, there was probably like 10 videos on him. We love Arch Manning here, and we're going to be covering him all season. Like, I'm just letting you guys know, this is a way too early look. You're going to see about 10, 15 more Arch Manning videos this whole year. This guy is going to garner more hype than we have possibly ever seen before. He's going to probably be the most hyped quarterback in college football since Tim Tebow, since Johnny Manziel. This is going to be some like Colorado Dion year one type of hype. Like, it could surpass all that because you're talking about a guy with two future Hall of Fame uncles, and then you're talking about a guy that could also back it up with his play. This guy was a number one recruit, and everything we've seen from him so far shows that he is the real deal. So let's get right into it now. When we're talking about Arch Manning and we're talking about last year, I'm not going to lie to you guys. I was sitting here banging on the table for Arch Manning to start on this offense. I think with all the weapons they had last year, when you're talking about Isaiah Bond, Matthew Golden, those type of deep ball threats, I thought Arch Manning's deep ball was a lot better than Quinn Ewers, and I thought what he could provide in the run game could make that offense way more diverse. And what I saw last year, I saw Quinn Ewers really play his worst games for most of the big games. Like, I saw him really back down from the moment. I mean, you're talking about the Georgia game where he got pulled the first game for Arch Manning for a little bit. And you talk about the second Georgia game, he stalled out and they lost to Gunnar Stockton. Then you talk about the Texas A&M game. That offense was not really humming either. Arch Manning had to put in a touchdown in that game. Quinn Ewers threw a pick. And then you talk about the Arizona State game against Arizona State in the college football playoffs. Again, they did end up winning that game. He did make a huge throw towards the end, but again, they kind of stalled out there. And then you talk about Ohio State game where they had multiple opportunities to tie the game, possibly even win that game. And again, everybody knows they pitched it back. Then we know what happens after that with Quinn Ewers. So again, I was not the biggest Quinn Ewers fan. I think the biggest thing Texas was trying to do with Quinn Ewers last year, again, they know Quinn Ewers was a guy that committed to them from Ohio State as a top guy. And they did their due diligence to really make Quinn Ewers a NFL pro. They didn't want to sit him down last season and lower his draft stock. Even though his draft stock did lower, he does go into the NFL as an NFL caliber prospect. And they wanted Arch Manning to sit and then possibly now use him and make this his runway. But again, Arch Manning was a guy that could have started for almost any college football program last year. And he's going to walk in now as the top guy in college football. Again, will he be the top guy? I don't know. You're talking about guys that took an extra year that also had first round potential. Guys like Drew Allen, Garrett Nussmeier, Carson Beck. Those guys are definitely going to be competition. But in my opinion, I think Arch Manning is going to be the best quarterback in college football next year. And I think last year really helped him. Again, we don't prey on injuries or anything, but Quinn Ewers getting injured last year really helped Arch Manning because now he's not like a first-time starter. It's not going to be his first time starting a game. He started 3 games last year, and he really looked good in all of them. And we're talking about 223 yards, 258 yards, 325 yards. Again, he really did look good in all of them, and this gave him significant experience. This is not a guy now that has to go in and really figure things out from day one, or there be a learning curve. I don't think there's going to be any of that. Now, I think this offense is going to be, like I said, more diverse under Arch Manning, but I don't know if it's necessarily going to be better just because of how much they lost. And we're talking about Isaiah Bond being gone. You're talking about Matthew Golden being gone. You're talking about Kelvin Banks, arguably the best offensive lineman in the country, being gone. Jaden Blue being gone. Even on the defense, they lost stuff. Barron, arguably the best cornerback in the country, gone. That defensive line is shattered. I expect Texas to be a top team. They are second right now in the national championship odds. I don't know if I take this, even as much as I believe in Arch Manning. Again, they have really lost a lot. So it's going to be interesting to see. Arch Manning, again, is top right now in Heisman odds as well. So even the books and everybody, they don't expect Arch Manning to really come in like a first-time starter. They expect him to come in and take over college football, which I truly believe is definitely going to happen with him. Again, I think they're going to be at the end of the college football playoffs, and he's going to be one of those 4 guys in the Heisman race for sure. And now, what I really want to get into is Arch Manning going to stay another year after this? Is he going to stay 2 years as a full time starter, or is he going to forego the NFL draft? Now, for me personally, I'm always the guy that's like, if you're a first rounder, go, because you don't know what's going to happen when it comes to NFL drafts. Like, again, you can move back. We've seen guys like Carson Beck be in the first round. Now he was like a third, fourth rounder. Now he has to stay again and prove his worth. We've seen it with Quinn Ewers in Texas. Again, this was the guy that was a first rounder. Now he's going to be a third rounder. So you don't know what play dictates. But for a guy like Arch Manning, I don't think he could basically do whatever pretty much. And he's going to stay in that first round grade. This is a guy that I really believe is a generational type of prospect. And with his pedigree, like, again, unless something massively happens in these 2 seasons, Arch Manning is going to be a first rounder. So I don't even mind Arch Manning learning and developing in these 2 years at all. I think Arch Manning really could stay 2 years and develop and be more ready for the NFL. Because again, we see a lot of guys in the NFL come in way too early and they're just not ready. I think Arch Manning staying 2 years is fine. Again, if he wanted to leave, if he decided to put out great tape, enough tape for the NFL, and he was guaranteed to be the number one overall pick, which I think he will be regardless, and he wanted to leave and get that, I understand that as well. But it's going to be very interesting to see Arch Manning, to see Texas, to see what he's going to do. But like I said, we're going to be pushing out Arch Manning content all year. And I think with Arch Manning, the hype is going to be unreal. This guy's going to completely take over college football, not only with his talent, but with his pedigree. The hype is going to be through the roof. I wanted to basically discuss my opinions. Like I said, I thought Arch Manning should have really started last year. But again, he wanted to commit to Texas. He wanted to commit to the program, which again, I don't mind. If you grew up always wanted to go to Texas and you want to stay and you committed to your coach, again, that's fine. I really thought the best option for Texas to win a national championship last year with all their talent was to put in Arch. I don't think he would have been scared of the big moment. But again, and then going into next year and forgo, I think Arch Manning, like I said, is going to take over college football next year. I think Arch Manning is going to be a top 4 Heisman candidate for sure, if not win the award. And again, it's going to be interesting to see with all these Texas losses if Arch Manning could lead them to a national championship. That wraps up this video for Sloppy Saturdays. And again, just expect more Arch Manning hype all through the season. Just wanted to go through a way too early preview for him and my thoughts on him, his last season, and his future next year. That wraps it up, and Sloppy Saturdays is out.